Hello and welcome to Gardening at 58 North. In this video I'd like to give you another update on my two chilli plants here, let them see how they're doing. This will be the final update of 2016 because it's the very end of December now. It's winter, they're not looking at their greatest, but I've been quite happy with how they've done, to be honest, considering how dark it's been and how cloudy the weather's been recently. So it's December now, the amount of sunlight is very minimal, there's almost no direct sunlight at all on these plants. There's a tiny bit, but then the sun goes behind the tall buildings here in Edinburgh, so it only gets about an hour's full sunshine if it was a sunny day, but with the amount of cloud we have, in reality it probably gets an hour of sunshine every week. But nevertheless, it's been doing okay. So first of all I'll start with a normal chilli plant, which is this one here on the left. As you can see, it's got another big crop of chillies. This is by far my best chilli plant. Chilli is always reliable, same kind of hot heat. They're quite small, but you only need one and it'll make the dish really hot. If you put a whole one of these in just a plate of food, it would be too much. So I normally make for making a big dish, one or two of these in the dish will make it quite nice. So as you can see, it's starting to get quite tired already. You can see the leaves are looking quite blotchy. And that's just because these leaves are, some of these are over a year old now, and they've just kind of passed their best. It's been flowering and fruiting all year long. It's produced hundreds of chilies this year. As I said in previous videos, it's producing almost, I'm harvesting about a chili every single day off it, and it's still too many chilies for me to consume myself, so I haven't to give them away to friends. And this is the best crop it's ever had in winter. I mean, it's December, and it's still cropping, so that's fantastic. I mean, currently it's putting all its energy into the peppers, so you can see there's not any new growth whatsoever. There's no new flowers coming or growth because all the energy is going to the chilies. There's even some younger green ones which are coming from the last few flowers it had a few months ago. You can see one there. So all in all, I'm very happy with it. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to remove all the chilies and then I'm going to freeze them because there's actually so many I'm probably not going to be able to eat them all in time. And also at this time of year I don't want it to be putting all its energy into chilies because it's just hard enough for it to survive with the low light levels that we have at the moment. So I'm just going to go around and cut them all off and see how many chilies are on this one plant. Now I've seen it with about 3 or 4 times more chilies than this, and even though it doesn't look like a huge amount, I am expecting there to be quite a bit, so I'll give it a count as well. So there we are, that's all the chilies harvested, and I've actually had 32 chilies on that plant. And I've also had 6 dried up old chilies, which I'd obviously forgotten. They've just dried up, gone overripe. But 32 good ripe chilies, and there's also a few green chilies still on here, which are going to ripen up further. There's a couple that are already ripening up, and they're nearly ripe, and a few smaller green ones, but not many. And I don't mind keeping 1 or 2 small green ones on here to ripen up, because that will mean I will have a few more chilies later on in the year. And as I said before, it needs most of the chilies taken off so it can survive the winter, but 1 or 2 chilies with a plant this size, it can easily survive the winter with that. So I'll just keep this on the windowsill in the sunniest place I can find in this flat, and what I'll be doing is in a few months time, when the light starts to get a bit brighter, I'll cut this back hard, ready for overwintering and to promote it to have new healthy growth for spring. And then later on from that I will also trim off half the compost and give it fresh compost. But for now, it should be okay. As I say, I'm going to leave all the leaves, not going to cut anything yet because it needs as much leaves as possible to keep itself alive in these dark months. And then when it does start to brighten up, I'll cut it back hard, encourage new growth. I did that last year and it worked fantastic, so I'll do the same this year. So my other chilli is my Capsicum chinense, which is a habanero type chilli. Has much hotter peppers, and I've always had problems with this, not growing well, then growing well, not growing well, going through cycles of losing its leaves. Now I did it in a previous video and I'll put a link up at the end to that, and I pruned that back hard, and what you can see now is loads of healthy growth. You can see it's a very healthy chilli plant, lots of new shoots. You can see I cut it back to about here, you can see that nice new stem. Same here, you can see the point where I've cut it back there as well, and it's got lots of new growth now. So it's a very healthy looking chilli. And see, I'm not sure why it keeps losing its leaves every now and again, but it just does seem to do that. It hasn't got any flowers at the moment or any chilies forming, but that's because it's winter and it's really just focusing on leaf growth. So I may give this a prune come spring because I don't want it to be so big, and if we give it a hard prune it will cause new growth, and it's a new growth which grows the flowers. Although it's got new growth now, as I say, it's too dark, so it's not going to be producing any flowers. So I'll give that one a prune probably the same time that I prune this one. That's it for now. That's my 2 chilli plants, very happy. That's the final harvest of this year, and hopefully come spring I'll start harvesting a few more of these again.